Say, I'm getting a cat tattooed on my ass in Carl's voice.
Yeah, I'm getting a cat tattooed on my.
That's amazing. Hey there, my name is Matt Dinniman, and I am the author of the Dungeon Crawler Carl series.
And I'm Jeff Hays, and I'm the voice of the Dungeon Crawler Carl audiobooks on Audible.
So about a year ago, we had a bet that if we had 500 viewers join our live stream, Jeff here would get Princess Donut, the main character of the Dungeon Crawler Carl series,
The main character, yes.
tattooed on his ass.
Matt also decided to get tattooed.
I'm just getting it on my arm, not my ass.
Who's first?
I'm ready for my close-up.
There she is.
Never had a tattoo before. Number one.
Here we go. Not bad, right?
Is that it?
Yeah.
Ugh, wait till you get going.
All right.
7 books out so far. Of those, which one's your favorite?
Butcher's Masquerade, no question.
So book 5.
Yes, book 5. I think it has the most emotional moments. It's got the most fun action. I also would argue it's my best performance out of the series.
Okay, I want you to describe me in one word.
Genuine. I remember I worked with him before DCC got so big. Been working with him since. He hasn't changed.
Thank you, Jeff.
Probably Carl. I identify with Carl more than any of the other characters. There's something about the way he sees the world and everyone else's behavior that's like, make the right choice. And it's kind of obvious to him. Like treating people well, working together to save humanity.
I would have said Princess Donut.
Absolutely.
Do you prepare differently for like an action style narration versus like one that's gonna be like more dramatic?
If I pre-read, I'm definitely prepared to make the shift when it happens. As a narrator, and especially in first person, you really want the relationship of the scenes and the events to be obvious. For action scenes, what you want is a little higher pace, a little more panic, right? Especially with Carl, right? Like, he's mixed up in this stuff, and your action scenes are batshit insane. We want the listener to feel that. Colonel Boomer, that's my favorite one, because I actually got a cigar and chewed on it while I was doing his voice. So that was fun and disgusting.
What is the most common question you get from fans?
How do you keep track of all of the characters' voices that you do? Sometimes I create a voice that's just very unique to a particular character, but often I have characters that perform so well that I just recast them over and over.
So what would Carl sound like getting his first tattoo?
Carl wouldn't sound like anything.
He gets his first tattoo in the book, just slaps itself onto him.
Startles him. Right then he'd be like, ah!
I think that over the series, I think most people would notice that Carl specifically, his voice has changed quite a bit from the very beginning. And I think that's because he started off as an impression, but he developed to be his own character. It's a different thing to like read the character and know the character than it is to be the character and feel the character.
Yeah. When you finished recording book 1 and you were done with it, did you have any inkling about how popular it would become?
Hell no. I thought Dungeon Crawler Carl was gonna be another audiobook that I did because I was interested in it.
When did you first notice that it was becoming beyond a typical lit RPG?
I probably got a notion of the velocity when we got to book 4. It was certainly different than the popularity of other big titles I'd done before.
It's a small pond lit RPG.
Yeah, exactly. And not only was I seeing the regular fans of lit RPG, super excited every time I was like, hey, I'm starting another Dungeon Crawler Carl book. But I was seeing people who were not lit RPG people at all jumping in and being obsessed.
So how much time do we got left, man?
Probably like 3 minutes.
All right, I got one last question. What's your favorite part of the fan community?
I think the feeling that I get that I'm helping people get through their day. All these people are talking about how many times they've listened to the audiobooks. It's as if it's their favorite album.
I had a guy tell me the other day he listened to book 1 over 125 times. That's insane.
That's crazy, man.
It's done.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
It's amazing.
It looks really cool.
I look magnificent, darling. Thank you so much. Oh, I love all this attention, I must say.
If you get a hardcover copy of Dungeon Crawler Carl, the chapter 1 header is this. It's just a picture of a donut leaping to the tree. Most of them are done by my friend. His name's Eric Wells, but this particular one I did.
Love it. All right, here we go. I don't have to be so close to someone's ass on this tattoo.
Yeah, I'm considerate.
What is your favorite thing about writing Dungeon Crawler Carl?
I've always wanted to be a writer, so I get to get paid to do something I've always wanted to do. That's the best part. Easy.
How would you describe me in one word?
Talented.
Okay.
I could have said grumpy,
Grumpy. All right.
but I'm not going to say. I would never say that on
You
camera.
would never say that. I believe you.
Chaos. All of the books have an element to chaos to them, but this particular one has so much happening at the same time. Every book, I try to spin more plates at the same time. There's so many plot lines going on. At this point, we have over 300 named characters in the series, and it's just so many plots that had to finish in this particular book. I kind of smushed them all together the best I can. I think my favorite's probably the slam, slam, slam scene. Without going into too many spoilers, it involves this cat that's being tattooed on my arm.
It's fun to think of like the comedy of her doing that batting motion that cats do that we all laugh at in YouTube videos, and then
Horrible consequences.
of it. What is a pantser, and have you always been a pantser?
Okay, so in the writing world, there are two things. There's the plotter, who's the person that has it all planned out ahead of time. They write extensive notes. They use an outline to make their story. And a pantser is someone who just makes it all up as they go along. I have no plan. I have no idea where it's going as I write it. A lot of people get surprised by that because they always talk about, you're so good at foreshadowing and stuff like that.
So, do you ever get stuck while you're writing?
I get stuck all the time. That's kind of my style of writing. I like painting myself into a corner. I deliberately paint myself in the corner. On my Patreon, I have the people vote for some things that happen to the characters, and a lot of times they'll pick things that just completely screw me. For example, in book 7, they're the ones that picked the cookbook as a prize, and as you can see, it kind of changed the whole course of the story. That's how I enjoy writing. It's creating impossible problems and finding the best way to get yourself out of it.
So, what action or adventure tropes are you obsessed with right now?
Fantasy that's mixed with 1930s gangsters. It's great when we see new things out there that are playing with, the stereotypes and the tropes, and then finding new ways to explore it. I try to avoid fan theories, but if I see one, I will deliberately not make it happen. Like before book 5 came out, there was lots of fan theories on what was going on with Miss Beatrice, for example. Some of the crazier ones, there's a cleaner robot. People have the craziest theories about what the robot is and what it's doing. We'll see if they're true.
So, what's your favorite thing about interacting with the fans and the fan community in general?
For me, the most amazing part is they meet each other and they become lifelong friends. There was a meetup at DragonCon last year where it was a Dungeon Crawler Carl meetup, and I wasn't even invited. They just kind of, they wanted to meet each other, and that's really cool. It becomes an actual fandom at that point.
In what way do you think that Dungeon Crawler Carl has changed the way you think about writing?
It really made me think about the minutia of the story arcs, the flow of the story, what's happening with who and where everybody is. A lot of people talk about how the pacing seems really fast. The most recent book was really long. It was 270,000 words. Your audiobook, I can't remember how long it was 27 hours or something like that.
Probably 28.
And people said, it was over so fast. I like people saying it seemed like it went too quickly. That's how I know I'm doing a good job.
All right, man, we're all done.
It looks great, man.
Thanks.
It really looks good.
It's just cool that you drew it and I got to tattoo it.
I appreciate it too.
I mean, you're the creator of this whole story, so it kind of ties it all together.
Well, thank you.
Very cool. Listen to the Dungeon Crawler Carl series.
Now on Audible.